Okay, Dave Parrish here coming at you with another video. Today's topic, let's call this up right here. Equation behavior in forms. And I'm going to give you what I'm talking about here. This came up the other day. Equation wasn't working how we wanted it. And I'm like, what's going on with this? And sometimes I have that problem. What I'm talking about is when you have inputs on a form, in this case, it's the price times quantity, and you have an equation. Knack lets you put the equation in that form, and it does a dynamic change. You change these values, it tells you the amount. And the app I had, it wasn't doing that. It really wasn't clear why. It wasn't working how I wanted to, and I ended up resolving it. But I said to myself, hey, I don't really know this that well. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Why don't I just find it? I emailed Knack, and Gary there was real helpful. He came back with a really good, detailed answer for me. And he did some testing on his own too. So I'm going to jump. This won't take very long. Thanks. Okay, so here's the deal with equations on forms. One of the first things, I made a simple app here, but whatever values are in the equation need to appear on the form itself. Now, this is pretty simple. I have A plus B, but you could have some more complex stuff where the value isn't there or it's using some other value, maybe a static. But anything that's involved in that has to be here for it to automatically calculate in real time. And a use case of that is I did one where they had to split percentages of a commission on real estate agents, and there were multiple agents, and that had to equal to 100. And this was a good safety check. One thing you can't use, one thing you can't use are count sum functions. I'm going to show you over here. Let's just do it. In this thing, I have a count functions, counting child records, but it doesn't even show up. So if you're using that as part of an equation, you can't put it on its form, so it won't work. And this only works, by the way, with number equations. You know, you always have the ability to turn an equation or have a date equation. It won't calculate the date, only numbers. And it also, let's look at this. Go to data. Let's go to my equation. You can't use it validations on it. See, validation now on a number regular, we can do a valuation if it's can't be greater than X value and it won't let us submit it. That'd be nice if it did. Like if this was, it has to equal 100, I could have a validation and if they didn't add it up right, wouldn't let them submit and tell them, give them a note saying, hey, this has to equal 100. So that's what's up with that. Now I did a test thing here. I'm going to go here and just show you what it does. Now also note, I asked when I was figuring this out, hey, is there a difference between a new record form and an edit form? And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But this is a new one. So you can see the equation down here. We can put 1, that's populating. This is a plus, that equals 3. That works fine. Now let's try edit. Here's one that already exists. 1 plus 1 equals 2. It works on the edit. But I have a caveat here. This thing's a little weird, but I'm going to go to this. This is an edit form. Make sure, yeah, right here's an edit. When you put this equation in, this doesn't make sense to me, but it comes into play. Display this field without an input form. What that means is sometimes you want an output form value to appear, but not be editable. And so that would do this for a number. Just turn it so you can see it. Now, an equation, they can't change anyways. So, why have that? I'm not sure, but there is some behavior here. Make sure this is unchecked. Watch this. I'm going to go, let me make sure I'm at the right one. Let's do this first edit. Okay, this is right. I'm going to check this. Display Well, look at it. Either way, you can't do anything to it, but I'm going to check it. I'm going to put it here, save it. Here's my page. Edit. Let's make this. It's not. Well, it is changed. No, I didn't refresh it. So now we have that checked. I'm going to make this 10. Notice it's not changing. But if I do uncheck it, it's going to work. Right here. Now I have just a couple other points. Here, put 10 in, it does. Now I did another thing. There's, in their next documentation, it says you can't use other formulas within a formula. And I tested that out. You definitely can't use, like I said, the sum or count. But I did a second test here where I have value AB equals 2, A plus B, and then I made another one where you have value C, and it's timesing that by this value, and this is an equation. So let's try that. And this would only come into play on, well, it could come on play on either. But here, let's do 10. Look at it's changing down at the bottom there. 10 and whatever. It does it. So you can use, if it appears on this page, I had to test this, took one of this off, because if you're just looking to get this final value, you don't need to have this on a page. But if I take this off the page, it won't work. It won't do it. But if they're all on the page, you can use it with another formula within the formula. See if I got anything else here. I think that's it. Oh, inline editing. It won't do it in inline editing. And I did something on the back end. This is interesting. Watch this. Let's go to one of these records. And let's edit it. Go down here. Let's just see what it does. I'm going to put a 10 in here. No, that's not even the one. Here. Let's make this 10. It changes this first formula, A plus B, but it doesn't do anything to the last one. I don't do much editing like this on the back end, but for whatever reason, in the live app, it'll do it. In here, it only does it with the first formula, and maybe this rule that you can't have a formula within a formula, like the count, this formula works here, works on the live and doesn't work here. That's what I got, folks. Appreciate it. Thanks.